Hi there, it's Black History Month. Isaiah Bradley was the first surviving recipient of the first version of the super soldier serum. He fought Nazis and won. Then he fought the US government in court and lost, and was imprisoned for almost 20 years. During his imprisonment, the US government cloned him. The clone escaped and became Josiah X, also known as the US-themed superhero Justice. After a years-long writing campaign by his wife, the US government pardoned and released Bradley. Sadly, the Rebirth serum was inferior to the super soldier serum and came with negative side effects that would show themselves as he aged. The end result, Isaiah was a 6-year-old with a 30-year-old body and the mind of a 6-year-old. Cared for by his wife Faith, Bradley is still considered a legend among Marvel's black community, both in-universe and in real life. Isaiah Bradley, Origins. Isaiah Bradley was an African-American soldier who was experimented on in an unethical clandestine offshoot of the super soldier project named Project Rebirth. Although Project Rebirth took 300 African Americans to use as human guinea pigs, only a handful of them survived. After a few field missions, Isaiah was the only one left alive. Eventually he grabbed a Captain America costume and headed off to Germany to make sure the Nazis couldn't make any more super soldiers and to take out the ones they did. And that's how he became the first Captain America, even if he wasn't the first one to officially receive the title. Isaiah Bradley, powers. Similar to Steve Rogers' iteration of Captain America, Bradley doesn't have superpowers as much as almost superhuman attributes. Simply put, the serum gives them both peak human strength, speed, stamina, durability, agility, reflexes, healing, sense, and longevity. That last one's a bit tricky. While Steve Rogers got the perfected version of the super soldier serum, Bradley did not. This means that while his body is in great shape, he suffered brain damage due to the imperfections of the Project Rebirth serum. Isaiah Bradley, equipment. Isaiah used the same equipment as Steve Rogers. In his adventuring days, he used a Captain America suit, armor, and a shield. There's one major difference though. Due to having been active in the 40s, Bradley used the old school heater type shield. Bradley also placed some custom artwork on the shield along with the words double victory. As a US soldier, Bradley is also familiar with firearms. Isaiah Bradley, allies. Considering that he was the first Captain America, it's surprising that most of the Marvel Universe haven't even heard of him. In fact, even the 200-plus-year-old team-up aficionado and super spy Wolverine hadn't heard of him until he attended Storm and Black Panther's wedding. Even Steve Rogers hadn't heard of him until recently. Nevertheless, Bradley is considered a living legend and widely respected among the community of Marvel's black characters, such as Sam Wilson and Luke Cage. Yep, all two of them. He also has superhero relatives, his son, Josiah X, Justice, and his grandson, Elijah Bradley, Patriot. However, his greatest ally is his wife, Faith, because behind every strong black man is a strong black woman. Or a white woman. I mean, it really all depends on what... You know what? Never mind. Isaiah Bradley, enemies. Bradley mostly fought against Nazis. Isaiah Bradley, common themes. During the character's real-world inception, it was decided by Marvel that Isaiah's story would include multiple references to real-world events. For instance, the 300 African-American soldiers and the experiments performed on them are referenced to the Tuskegee syphilis study in which the US government lied to African-American men about giving cures for syphilis. They weren't given cures because the study was actually concerned with the effects of the disease on their bodies, and the study continued for around 40 years. Another example of this is the clearly unfair incarceration of Isaiah at the hands of the government. The most obvious one, however, is probably how Bradley's brain damage affected him in a manner similar to the boxing legend Muhammad Ali. Isaiah Bradley, culture impact. It depends on who you ask. If you ask a black comic fan about his impact, you'll probably hear phrases like, "I feel like I was represented," and "I can't believe Marvel actually allowed this controversial story to be told. I'm glad they did it." Or maybe even a casual, "Oh, you mean the first Captain America?" If you ask most other comic fans, you're probably going to get a curious, who is that? Fortunately, it looks like this will soon be remedied by the MCU. Rumors abound that Isaiah Bradley will be a character in the upcoming film Falcon and Winter Soldier. Isaiah Bradley's story, while using certain elements of Black history, is surely relatable to most people. Well guys, that's all for now, but until next time, love the geek. Peace.